Morning. It's Canada Day 2025. I'm exiting the front door. I've always said I was going to do a garden blog just so that I could keep up with what goes on and try to remember, but I never have. So here's our yard, Canada Day morning. My hardy explorer rose. I believe this is front neck. I'd have to make sure. And then a biennial. I bought it years ago and it has just flourished in this spot. My astilbe is perking along. And I tried this Jack Frost this year. We'll see if he thrives in here. These little Setosa, I think they're called Setosa irises. I love them. They're so tiny. And something is eating my rose, but it appears happy. Ornamental chives are cooking away, wanting to do their thing, along with, I think this is Roseanne Cranesbill. I love it, whatever it is. And the same tree that tries to come back every year is trying to come back again. Where are you? There it is. I'll have to get in there and root it out later on this morning. More iris, some lilies about to pop. Another reason for the blog is I never remember what color my lilies are before they pop. And then as this garden is in zone 3, the only thing that really thrives in this bed in a meaningful way that can take any frost is the petunias. So every year there's a debate about what color petunias we will have. This year it's pink and yellow, which actually works out well. It looks great with the rose, and it looks great with the blooming sedum over there. Here is my first Bobo hydrangea. I love this guy. He gets a little more shade than he'd probably like in this northern exposure, but it blooms its full head off. I am seriously considering planting a hedge of them up and down the driveway. My neighbor doesn't love that idea because there might be issues with the snow, but I think it would be beautiful. And there's the street view. So we have put flags out, these flags out for years. Some of them are getting a little frayed, but we always manage to find more. We'll do the other side of that bed. And the petunias. Many, many petunias. More flowering chives. More Roseanne Cranesbill. My juniper hanging over the wall. I had to chop a lot of it out. It was interfering with the sprinkler that was below it. And then my flowering dogwood. Well, it's not a flowering dogwood, it's a pagoda dogwood. I wish it was a flowering dogwood, but Wake up, you're in zone 3. And my little Buddha. And the upper hosta bed. And my little astilbe. I think it's an astilbe. I had these bleeding hearts in a lower bed, but I moved them up here. I think they'll be pretty next year. More hosta. And the other bleeding heart that I moved up. There's a couple of astilbes hanging out in there trying to figure out if they can make it or not. And my incredible hydrangea. It got really wind whipped when we had a bad storm, but it looks like it's recovering nicely. I reworked this bed this year, so we'll see how things survive. This poor little pine, it has struggled here for years. Maybe it doesn't get enough light. Oh, my Chinese astilbe is about to bloom. More lilies, catmint, another bleeding heart, the lilies. And my peonies. My peonies are almost done. I've waited too long, as usual, to start any sort of recording of my journey. The one surviving Artemisia, I had them up and down this bed, but this is the only one who's happy. My daylily, more hosta, more hydrangea, another bobo. That rose in the background is a John Cabot with a Teresa Bonet in front of it. More bobo, more hosta, more lilies. A peony that's almost done. This is sorbet. Another daylily, another hosta. My blueberry tree, not too happy. It got a little out of control and it got a little put in its place, so we'll see how it does. In the background, I have a clematis that's waiting to climb up the tree. More lilies. A betony of some sort. Oh, a rhubarb that's got to go. He doesn't live here. My friend brought it over and I healed it in here. And he has just been thriving. Then in the back is another, I think it's another Stashies, but I'm not sure. It has big whorls of purple flowers. Little lamb hydrangea. Autumn joy. Autumn joy. Autumn joy sprouting up out of the back. More lilies. And baby hosta. You never know what you find when you're doing your walk-arounds, so lots of volunteers. Here we have my Aurelia Sun King. I read that it was supposed to be 3 feet by 3 feet, and then when I looked at the internet when I got home, it said it could become huge in this area. So I've tucked him in here. I hope he thrives. I have another clematis, Flora plena, climbing up this iron sunflower sculpture. And then there's just a hosta coming out of the ring there. My peonies that sadly need deadheading. Here we have, this is a pavement rose, a Rosa rugosa, and underneath it is a yellow bleeding heart. And more peonies. These peonies are so fun because they actually self-seed. These seeds, when they fall out and get the proper stratification, pop into little seedlings. Big bunch of lilies, like I said, can't tell you what color they are. More peony, more lilies, more hosta, kind of a theme, more peony. A struggling little bleeding heart poking out. You go, buddy. I've poked in the odd petunia that was left over. Some yarrow, another bleeding heart, some yarrow. I want to rework this bed next year so that it has more of a rhythm. Some volunteer columbine popping up there. Another lily. A rose throwing itself out through the veronica. I think this is a Teresa Bonet who crawled underneath the lawn. My husband will be at me to stop it from scratching him when he's mowing the lawn. And another veronica. Another peony. And here we have my flowering mock orange. Tried and true Stella d'Oro. Some lady's mantle. Hyperion. Daylily. This is a Painter Series rose. And my biggest hosta. This is 2 French hydrangeas. I can't remember the name of them right now. Oh, Berry White. Another rose, also in the Painter Series. More Stella d'Oro. Lots of cranesbill for ground cover, along with the sedum. Here is a tidbit hydrangea. We'll see how it thrives here. I still have to get in and mulch and move some ground cover over it. Behind it is the infamous Joe Pye weed. I broke my finger weeding this out this year. I was unaware that you're supposed to... Oh, that was my finger. That you're supposed to chop the flower heads off. So I had a nightmare from hell. It took me 3 days to hand tease the stuff out because I have soaker hoses buried in here. I couldn't just go at it with a shovel. Here is another pagoda dogwood that I started from seed and healed it in over here. I think it's going to be stunning. And another baby hydrangea. Too bad the alliums are done. They're spectacular when they're in bloom. More lilies. And then my vision here is that these hosta will grow ginormous, like those hosta there, and have like this little cedar is supposed to grow to be 5 feet and be a ball poking out. I have more of my roses coming back there, Teresa Bonet. I love them, but I'm getting too old to play Twister with them in the spring. And a ton of sedum. You can see that there's a couple of volunteers in here that I need to take out. There's some catmint and whatever this thing is with the purple blooms. I'll show it in the backyard. Plus it looks like I've got some sort of daylily just decided to pop up there. And a yarrow that I probably should move. Now we go into the nightmare zone. It's nice and cool right here, though. This is my temporary deer fence because they were eating me out of house and home back here. Strictly Fence is coming to give us a quote to put a gate across here. Oh, my neighbor Bob's beautiful backyard. This is our marten colony. We have 2 houses. There's 130 possible babies here between the eggs and the hatchlings currently in there. We did a nest check this morning. I have 18 Edo peonies, so we have early arrival here, 3 in a cluster of 3, and an echinacea, and an andromeda, and a soap plant, and veronica, and baby irises. For the life of me, I can't remember what these are, but I know I liked them when I bought them. More lilies. 2 conifers that are supposed to be quite small. This guy is supposed to grow to be 12 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And this guy is supposed to grow to be 7 feet tall and 3 feet wide. And then we have the planned hedge of limelight hydrangeas, snow dance Japanese lilac, more lilies, and these are the Hillary peonies, and some sedum. It struggled when I first moved it here, but it seems to be thriving now. Some dianthus. It's mulched and it doesn't love the mulch, but my husband loves the dianthus, so here it is. And some zinger sedum. This is really taking off. And a slow mound mugo pine should be 3 feet by 2.5 feet. And some Dutch iris. Behind it is astaches. Yeah, I love those. They grow to be about 3 feet tall with little bottle brushy tops. And some lilies. And here we have Bartzilla peonies right in front of the Japanese lilac. And some veronica. And there's a couple of Amsonias here, there and there. The valerian, I'm really excited about this little combo. So there is a tiny smoke bush, I think it's called Velvetini, a valerian, and then a red sedum. And then there's red stalks in the Amazonia. I think that could be interesting. I don't know. I've never seen the combo anywhere. It's an experiment. Some more veronica. There is a ton of alliums in here, but they're done for the year. And some echinacea. The end of the first limelight run. And early arrival, Ito peonies, more lilies, an echo of the miniature conifers. I'm hoping they fill in the gap between me and my neighbor's yard without being obtrusive. A baptisia. I had to stop the bunny from eating this guy this morning. He was all over it. And the base of the marten houses. More Ito peonies. A little poppy field. These ones are white. We got one that's just about to bloom. The ones on the other side are done. They were more mature though. a pile of mulch that has to be moved, and some very tall lilies, and the second run of limelight hydrangeas. And the last batch of Ito peonies. We shall see how they do next year. And a bunch of lilies behind them. And I moved the son of rhubarbs to the back here. So that other rhubarb, I'm gonna have to eat my spinach and dig it out and move it finally. And here's our clan. Bye. And the end of the new bed. Walking towards the deck. Another golden leaf, bleeding heart, a juniper, hosta, golden bleeding heart, hosta. And then I found these 2 Japanese grasses at Rona for $9. I don't think they'll make it through the winter, but you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. My pride and joy. I love that blue color. More lilies, more conifer, more lilies. Three peonies in a row. I can't think of their name right now, but I have them written down in the house. I have this sedum pot just sitting on top of this columbine that I planted to grow up the bird feeder, just to keep its roots cool. And that guy's just healed in until the fence is in and I can pop him out. More of that 3-foot stashies. And there is a tiny little Morden elderberry. We'll see how it does. And here are these are red ones. Pinky Winky hydrangeas. And a pine. And more lilies. And a juniper. And then I have these 3 coralberry bushes. Pinky Promise, they're called. And my husband loves daisies. So there is the first of his daisy batch. Some Veronica, another juniper. Painted daisy with the daisy. Another painted daisy bordering it. Some Bergenia. And another peony. And another blue spruce, dwarf blue spruce. Another one of my husband's daisies. I can't remember the name of this. I love it. It goes weedy. It seeds all over the place, but Lord, it's always happy. Some lilies behind it. More Pinky Winky. Then a garden mistake. That is a little haughty hydrangea. It hasn't bloomed here. We'll give it a go this year, but I don't think our season is long enough to give her a go. This is lemony lace, elderberry, and then a Wagelia, however you want to say it. A poppy bed, more lilies. This guy is a firelight. No, quick fire. He's a quick fire, that hydrangea. Another one of the tall stashies. More lilies. Oh, there's asters all over the place. There's a little aster bundle. And some more dwarf iris. Next to a Veronica. Another sedum. I do love my sedums. This was a yellow iris, but it's done for the season. Another one of those big stashies. Another Wagelia, that was Wine and Spirits. And then behind it is Lava Rock hydrangea. And my husband's orange poppy field. More iris. A spurge. I hope this does well. I really like this plant, but it gets so cold. Dwarf pine. More sedum. And that is pretty much it for the garden. This is my deck. My pots are doing well. I have some herbs and a whole truckload of sedums. I'll post that next time because I have still a little bit of work to do on my sedums. And these baskets will just get bigger and bigger. So that's it from me. Happy Canada Day.